everyone, it's Hayes, and in today's video we're going to be discussing Aglae and what they may be up to in the show. Aglae has only appeared in one episode so far, which is of course 601 Climatic Queen, and there are two main theories about her at the minute. One is that she's Lila, or alternatively she's working with or for Lila, and we'll go over both in this video, but spoilers, I think the second one is more likely in my opinion. Now of course this may absolutely not be true, and there might be a situation back in like season 1 with the fandom where everyone was like, oh my god, Mr. Cubdell, you are Hawk Daddy. And the man, he wasn't. He was just trying to live his life, work at the Louvre, take care of Alex, poor guy. So I think, first of all, it is entirely possible Aglae is just a brand new side character, and like the majority of the kids, she's a very nice person, and there's nothing more to it, and she'll get akumatized eventually, but otherwise she's a nice person. But this is my channel and it's a dictatorship, not a democracy. So we're doing this video anyway, starting with Aglae is Lila's new disguise, which I do personally think is the more unlikely of the two theories with the information we have right now. So this theory seems to stem from this section of Climatic Queen where we see Aglae for the first time. So Aurora is expressing how she's feeling, and even though Aglae does comfort her, she also reminds Aurora that she should never use gossip to climb higher in Chloe's B community. Now, going back to what I said before, that it might not be her, this could totally just be a normal conversation showing Aglae's nice personality, but I do feel it can be interpreted as her being manipulative towards Aurora to point her to that behaviour. If she really is Lila, the action she's arguably encouraging in Aurora will hurt Marinette, who we all know Lila does not like. So if Aglae truly is Lila, I think one of two things is happening appearance-wise. The first one is this is just straight up a Lila disguise, like we saw at the end of Confrontation. It's a wig, makeup, contact lenses, brand new outfit, whatever she's done to look like this visually. Or, alternatively, Lila has akumatized herself into Aglae, but Aglae doesn't use her powers, which is assuming you need to give someone powers when you akumatize them. Right now, there is no precedent in the show that says you don't have to give someone powers. Even in the Reverse special, when the Butterfly Miraculous was used for good, they were still given powers. However, we do know that people can be akumatized and made to look kind of normal. For example, Lila in Vulpina, and also Lila in Chameleon. Arguably, Vulpina isn't normal since it's a superhero outfit, and Chameleon does have powers, but just by looking at those Akumas, there isn't anything inherently obvious that something is wrong, as in they look like normal people. I know Ladybug was suspicious in Vulpina that she was someone different, but I think that honestly stemmed more from jealousy and not to do with Lila's appearance as Vulpina. Lila could also be akumatizing herself into different disguises too. As she says at the end of 602, the Illustrator, she is everywhere, and we have seen in other episodes this season people wandering around with weird focuses on them, such as this person on a bench in El Toro de Piedra and this person in the stadium in 603 Sublimation. And this person from Sublimation especially confuses me because they seem quite broad, they have quite a different build to Lila, so I've always been like, this can't be her unless she's akumatizing herself to look like that, into a completely different person, but a real person, not a supervillain, a real person. Now, assuming Lila is doing this and she is also Aglae, Aglae being one of her disguises, whether a makeup and contact lens wig situation or an Akuma disguise, as well as other people, it would mean she would have to de-akumatize herself and transform before she could akumatize someone else. So let's take Sublimation as an example. If this person in the stadium is Lila, they would have to leave, de-akumatize themselves, transform, akumatize someone else, then when they're defeated, de-transform and then re-akumatize herself into this person. I feel that the argument here would be that, well, all the other kids have upgraded their powers, so maybe Lila can too, and she can akumatize more than one person at once, but that doesn't seem to be a thing. Since Gabriel was an adult in seasons 1 to 4, his upgrade seemed to be he didn't need to cool down between akumas, he could akumatize people one after another, after another, after another, forever. The only time Baby could akumatize more than one person at once was if it was a group akuma, like in Dearest Family and Gang of Secrets, or if you use Natalie as catalyst for the red akumas. So unless Lila has got a further upgrade where she can indeed have more than one person akumatized at once that don't fit those special parameters, I'm not so sure. And she does actually have seemed to have already upgraded the Akumas, as she can shoot butterflies out of the Akuma villain, which sounds really weird when you say it out loud, but basically what we see in Daddy Cop and Sublimation. So I don't know if she could also additionally already upgrade to akumatize more than one person at once, which is why I'm so unsure about Aglae being Lila. The other thing that makes me unsure are the butterflies themselves. We know you need actual butterflies for an Akuma, which is really inconvenient to be honest, and we know they can be kept in the staff and moved around, but as far as I'm aware, I'm not sure that butterfly lasts when you de-transform and then transform back, but I don't actually think we've ever seen that in the show, so perhaps they do. but right now I really don't know. So the other idea that Aglae is working with or for Lila, I think is more likely in my opinion with what we currently know. Ever since Time Tagger, I think it's been pretty clear that Lila will have people working for her like Chris. Gaby Baby of course had Natalie and then eventually also Tomaway, and also this council thing, but I'm not sure what input they had, if any. So I don't think it's too weird for Lila to have other people working for her. Although of course they will be manipulated. I think very few of them are going to possess informed consent about what's really going on. So as to why other people could be working with Lila, such as Aglae, I would assume she has something on them, as in she is blackmailing them. Now what she's blackmailing Aglae with, I don't know, it could be anything right now since we don't really know her very well, she's only been in one episode, but it would explain all these other people in Paris whose job seems to be watching people and recommending them as Akuma victims for Lila. So in a way she is everywhere without her having to be literally everywhere. It also makes what Aglae says to Aurora make more sense, as instead of just watching someone and recommending them, she's manipulating Aurora into getting akumatized to help Lila. And maybe she gets extra points for this, I don't know. And the next natural question is, well, okay, then she's picked this person. How does Aglae then let Lila know who an Akuma target is? In Furious Fu, we saw Marinette ring Mariana, or Marianne, whatever she was called, Master Fu's girlfriend, and she isn't a superhero, so I do think it seems completely plausible that Aglae could she could ring Lila while she is transformed, just call her up, you know? This theory of Aglae working for Lila also explains Lila's final scene from the end of Climatic Queen. She says next time it's her term, next time this one was Lane. I do feel one way to interpret the her that Lila talks about is that she's referring to Aglae or perhaps another female character, and it's going to be their turn to akumatize next. We all know these episodes aren't in chronological order, so I don't know right now what the episode after Climatic Queen is going to be, but it also could be referring to another of Lila's contacts, that Aglae picked a bad victim and someone else, the her, will pick the next one, and the notes Lila is making is her keeping track of who are good contacts and who are good Akuma villains for perhaps like, I don't know, like a end of the season big showdown Heroes Day sort of style where she picks the best of the best to re-akumatize again to help win the Miraculous for whatever it is that she actually wants, because I don't know. But anyway, besties, that's just what I think. Of course, I'd love to know what you think. Which theory do you think is more likely? Or do you perhaps think that Aglae has got nothing to do with this and everyone is just being too suspicious? I'd love to know what you think, and I will see you in the next one.